Every strategy is exposed to certain types of risk. So if you learn to minimize or eliminate those risks, then you will achieve tremendous results. A trend following strategy is vulnerable to false signals when price is ranging. A breakout strategy is vulnerable to price reversals at key support resistance zones. A strategy on smaller time frame is at risk of sudden increase in volatility, while a weekly strategy is very slow to react to changes in the daily trend. Every strategy has its own strengths and weaknesses. Risk management is about identifying those weaknesses and putting a plan to either eliminate or minimize the chance of these weaknesses affecting your trading. In order to complete this section, you would need to have a good understanding of the strategy you are trading. If you have learned it from another person, then you would need to ask them to identify the risk that their strategy is vulnerable to. If you created the strategy yourself, then it is a no-brainer. Alternatively, you can use your trading journal and look back at the most 100 recent trades. Step 1. You need to create a list of the risk that your strategy is vulnerable to. Now, this is where having a detailed trading journal comes in handy. It is absolutely vital that you identify the risk based on actual trading experience. Step 2. Work on one item at a time. Collect and analyze data. Find a way to incorporate systematic measures to protect yourself as much as possible from the risk in this category. I'm going to give an example and then I will show you how to actually carry out step 2. Suppose you are trading a strategy on Euro USD 1-hour chart. This strategy has a stop loss placement that depends on the size of the two candles prior to the entry signal. You carry out the exercise above and identify that changes in volatility is a risk to your strategy. In particular, you notice that signals that come up during the Asian session, where volatility is low, produce smaller stop losses, and when the European market is open, the increase in volatility would often cause price to hit your stop loss. Even though you cannot control the volatility of Euro USD, you can still manage this risk by applying the following risk management to entry signals that come up near the end of the Asian session. You can increase your stop size. Larger stops allow you to absorb the sudden increase in volatility. You can reduce your position size. Reduce the amount that you would lose if your stop is hit. Alternatively, you can eliminate this risk altogether by not taking entry signals that come up within 2 hours, for example, of the close of the Asian session. This is the foundation of risk management. First, you identify the risk and you analyze it to see how it affects your trading strategy. Then you would attempt to create a set of rules that would minimize or eliminate the risk. It should be noticed that your set of rules should not complicate your trading strategy by adding in more analysis or indicator. It is not recommended to solve a problem by making it more complex. Risk management is based on statistics. You may have heard that trading is a numbers game. The same is true with risk management. Proper risk management must be based on statistics, not gut feeling or hunch. This means that you must keep a detailed journal of all your trades because it is the only way to collect meaningful data. By meaningful data, I refer to data that you have personally collected over the course of your trading career. The longer you have been trading and keeping a journal, the more data you would have access to. So don't expect yourself to be able to have a risk management plan with only 3 months of demo trading under your belt. If I wanted to find out whether or not I should avoid trading on Mondays, this is what I should do. I should take all valid setups according to my strategy, regardless of which day of the week it was formed on. I would not make any changes to the way I trade until the final step of this procedure is completed. I would keep a separate log to tally how many trades fall on Mondays and how many of Monday's trades were winners. I would do this until I have taken 100 trades. Then I would need to do some calculation. First, I need to calculate the percentage win rate of Mondays only. Then I need to calculate the percentage win rate of Tuesdays to Fridays combined. Finally, I need to calculate the overall percentage win rate for all days of the week, Mondays to Fridays inclusive. Then I need to compare the results. If this equation is true, then I might have a case against trading on Mondays. But I would need to test this out further. So what I would do next is I would repeat step 1 to 7 for another 100 trades. Then I would consider the statement again. If it is still true, then I can say that there is sufficient statistical evidence to say that trading on Monday is a risk that needs to be managed. This is exactly why most traders know very little about risk management. It is not sexy, it is not exciting, it is repetitive and boring. It takes a long time to collect data, and there is no way to speed up the process. But it is the most effective way to become profitable. Experienced traders know this. Their success is not because of the strategy, rather, it is the fact that they have been trading long enough to gather statistical evidence which allows them to make changes and improve the way they trade. In other words, they analyze the data collected from real trading experience to identify and manage risk. What about backtesting? Well, backtesting is another can of worms which I don't have time to cover in this chapter. But to put it simply, backtesting requires further mathematical and scientific hypothesis testing knowledge, which is beyond what most traders would come across in their daily lives. The most valuable data that you can have are from your own personal experience trading live.